awake, I find I'm still waiting.
Jesus,
I praise you, yes I do. How marvelous and wonderful is everything you do. I praise you, yes I do. From before there was time, everything you had in mind, and I praise you, yes I do. It's just one tiny grain of sand in an ocean of your thoughts for me.
and for you, Kelly Waddy. Like Paul, a shaman, eating dinner, eating chow, shaman,
I came from you, so I go back to you.
Allah.
Cause where you are is where I want to be. I praise you.
That's Psalm 139 song by James Vlog. I was calling them fake Jews because they're not, bloodline Hebrew Israelites like I am, tribe of Dan, the Celtic people, islands, land of my father, mother, some Scottish roots, Wales, no roots that I know of, but been there, beautiful lands, recommend it. Denmark, Mark and Dan, Denmark, maybe Sudan, What do you think? Mine's that song, A Boy Named Sue. If you want to sue me for mentioning your country, go ahead. I'll just say equal copycat rights, man. Shamani. So I just got back from Tolworth Mental Hospital. Apparently it's all to do with that wicked girl, Kaya Shea Martin. She came and said she's a Christian, and then Jesus told me what surah to read in the Quran, and it says, and Allah told Muhammad, and what he told Muhammad applies to all of us little messengers this end day. When they are with you, they say they believe, but when they're with their evil ones, they say, "Oh, we did but mock," And what she said was that she wants me to be put back on the injections. And as I've testified, when they force injected me with dangerous drugs, because I didn't used to comply with my medication, the street dealers, it's not good to sell crack and heroin, but my main dealer, Mike in Norwood in London, he was sweeter than that. And when people testing each other, one time his runner, the runners are like the little drug dealers that do the deals for the big boss. He gave me an extra bag. A Joey is like a small £10 bag of heroin, brown, or crack, cocaine, and that's white, brown and white. And he gave me an extra bag. So of course, doing the right thing. This was before I knew Jesus was real, but Jesus speaks about the Gentiles that have the laws written on their heart and obey them without knowing God. I am a little bit Gentile because I have some English blood, And so I rang Mike and said, "Oh, your runner was in a rush. He's given me an extra bag by mistake. So I owe you £10 because you can check it out. Mike's a really peaceful drug dealer, but some of them, if you lost a bag, they get paranoid. They accuse you of all sorts. You could have gotten in a lot of trouble, And he was always, as soon as and then when he rang and said, "Oh, do you need anything this week?" I said, "No, Jesus touched my spirit and I no longer need heroin." And he said, "Oh, congratulations, girl." And now it turns out he's Killer Mike. If you don't believe me, that's fine. So let's burn the incense. And the tribal nations, the lost children of the house of Israel, 13 tribes, become abominations like my ancestor King David in Psalms. But they walked through the shadow of the valley of death. It turned into D-A-A-T-H. That's a Hebrew term. It means knowledge that comes through near-death experiences. They were the Aboriginal nations, the Hebrew Israelites that had been scattered to the four corners of the earth for disobeying Moses. He brought the 10 Commandments written in stone. Christians, if you follow Jesus, King of the Jews, you must keep Saturday Sabbath, or whatever day Sabbath is on. I have a really good friend on Facebook. I can never remember his name, which might be something good. You will not forget Muhammad, unless Allah tells you. No, I'm not Prophet Muhammad, of course not. But I the same as him. I am a clear bring tidings of joy to those who believe. Reinforce the Imam Mahdi, or the Imam Mahdi, twin couples, I should say. We are here. We have the Ark of the Covenant. Yes, in walking form. Yes, like Andromeda where the ship makes herself into a human being while retaining the powers of the ship to a lesser degree. So their tefillot, their prayers, went up on the incense. The incense was no longer an abomination to the Most High, Allah, but it filled his nostrils. Look into my eyes, man, you'll see the dragon, the red dragon from the Welsh flag, man. That's why I've been sending me daffodils to say, wake up, girl, you're sleeping. Remember the covenant with the dragon. And so it went up and up and up to the seventh heaven, where Angel Orion is from heaven, up in heaven in Jamaica, man. I give him the codes to how I spoke in a strange tongue, a dark tongue. I think it might be to do with that Alexander the Great child molester, Martin, who is reincarnated as my brother. Allah knows best if that is true. He's an Australian Armadale, last I heard, near Perth. He was given great power to punish people on earth and to warn them that when they go back to Allah, they face the worst punishment. Warn yourself, MFer. Yes, I believe he is in fact he's also known as Diabolic, the fake rapper that checkers aware, man. All the messengers, we're all given a like an opposite number, an evil doer to lead us astray, On the song Front Lines, this is the front line, this is a dead soul, barely alive inside a box until you head home. A coffin. Shamani. Muslims and Rastafaris who are righteous and holy and pure in a different way than me and only smoke the marijuana. Muslims who do not even drink wine. Remember, Jesus drank wine, didn't he? And then he said at the Last Supper, Passover, I will no longer drink from this cup until I see you in my Father's kingdom. The time has come, but I'm not going to interfere with Prophet Muhammad's Ummah community, which I am of course a part of. He is the last prophet. I have prophecies, like text says. I didn't ask to be the messenger, but I was chosen to carry the tales of every African slave thrown in the ocean, I feel sorry for these non-ethnic Hebrew non-ethnic Messianic Jews like James Vlog, Psalm 139. I am fearsomely and wonderfully made, and that my Nepesh, that soul in Hebrew knows right well, made underground, in the matrix of the earth. Read out, who testifies of me that the true right brother will be a sister, speaks of this, that we are on, if you read Ian M. Banks' books, the one when he has Ian M, that's the science fiction, so-called science fiction, truth, M is stranger than fiction these days, they're becoming true, and there's a planet and there's like 7 worlds or something. So I think I was on Floor D, he used to be called the Great One, he was always boasting on his YouTube, oh, I've got a serious dog star messenger, I'm going to escape and go on the rapture. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. There ain't no hiding place from the Father of creation, Jah Rastafari, King Selassie, who sat with Empress Mene, my true mother. She is the goddess, I will call you goddess, the goddess of Tara, in Ireland, where the Ark of the Covenant is. The Ark of the Covenant went to Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, sorry I can't pronounce my new country's capital. I can pronounce London, London. Yeah, it used to be ruled by the tribe of Dan, didn't you, London? The square mile. I hope takes over it. Immortal technique, if by any miraculous chance the Holy Spirit has guided you to watch. Assalamu alaikum, Achiyawana Ashikani, Achiyamana Akatiyama Shamani. That's a private message. Don't try and talk to me, I can't even remember exactly what I've said. You will not forget Muhammad unless Allah wills. I'm thinking maybe, brother, if it's true, these rumours that you're the new voting Immortal Technique for president. I saw that on Facebook for years. I've been voting and praying, and inshallah, all of us that pray to have a new president in America. Let's set up our own shadow government. These governments are not what you think. For a start, they're all illegal against God to some degree. But like Apostle Paul said, we must obey them apart from when they go against God, and it's like, F you, mate, and we're obeying the Most High. But then, check this out, my ancestors knew Jesus, so I'm a long time, I have good seed in my family, apart from this current day family. I'm the best of the bad bunch, the black sheep, and we were Kafir priests. Muslims, do not call Kafirs, we're not infidels, we are Indocfidel, 33 degree, Ethiopian Fidel, Amharic, the language of Rastafari. I and I, when the twin flames are together, we see it all, man. So that's when Judgement started, to the best I know. I heard the trumpet from an ethereal, otherworldly place when I was 13. No one else heard it in my family. That was at 63 Longmore. And there's also a mixed boys and girls juvenile detention centre. I was in called Longmore. Also, I like the Moors, and they're the children of Ishmael. my very best pen pal ever is called Lara on McKinley Bay. I wrote to him on behind the bars or between the bars. Please get a prison pen pal. That is Jesus talking to you through me. We are being separated into the sheep and the goats. He will say to the sheep, when you visited me in prison, when you fed me, when you clothed me, when you stood up for me against the oppressors when I could not speak out. And we will say, but when on earth did we do that to you, Messiah? And he will say, when have you done this to the least of mine? You've done it to me. Come, enter into the gardens of paradise that me and my Father, who is King Selassie, as Allah has no son or daughter, have prepared for you before time. As for you goats, he will say, when I was in prison, you did not bother to visit. When I was an orphan, you spent all the money Jar gave you on yourself, you selfish bees, bastards. And you know, so you're going to hell, that's your portion. So let's repent and have the best day we can. I got taken unexpectedly. Remember I said yesterday, I volunteered to do a bit of truth jihad. Telling the truth is an act of jihad. To go into Tolworth Hospital. My terms were, give me 5 to 7 days notice, and I'll do between 24 and 72 hours. Obviously, you know, I do not give it Allah demands. Once I've volunteered, it's up to Allah and its soldiers, my superior officers in the KKULUMINATI, to decide how it plays out. This morning I had an urgent knock on the door from B, I'll just call her B, she's from Mali in Africa, Timbuktu, man, the home of Timbuktu. When Europe was in the Dark Ages, us Irish and probably English and all over the world travelled to West Africa. Great centres of learning and spiritual. The priest and the priestess went there. I think some of them must have been Hebrew Israelites. There's a book called From Babylon to Timbuktu about how when we were kicked out of the Holy Land, we come from Africa, you know, and so forth. Yeah, so, and they said it's that witch Kai Shay claims to be our daughter. Trust me, in a concurrent world life, she's the one that poisoned Prophet Muhammad, you know. Yeah, I just rang her and then she said, oh, you're talking crazy. She tried to get them to inject me again, brethren. Please testify this won't happen. The danger is past. It was only a tiny danger. I stuck up for myself. I know my rights, you know. Moses has been schooling me, the lawbringer, you know. But he's not judging me. I'm judged by Christ, you know, the merciful one. But when we are judged, we are chastened by the Lord Adonai, that we will not be condemned with this wicked, ungodly world. Yeah, so they spoke to me. What they want to do is come around tonight between 5 and 8 and supervise me taking my antipsychotic tablet, you know. And when he said about putting me back on the injections, I said, no way, Jose, you can't force me. I know my rights. I'm not a danger to myself or others. Check it, brethren. This is heartbreaking. That wicked bitch, Mary Magdalene. I'm not her daughter. He insists. Jesus insists. I am his little sister. So I'm not sure who my mum is. Obviously not Janice Mary Martin, who's also been doing witchcraft. And when I said, this is your last warning, Jesus said, he doesn't want you to perish. She said, no, I'm not changing. I'm enjoying my life. If I have to go to hell, so be it. So it seems like Kaya has copied her, you know. Misty, age 11, half packy. Jasmine, age 8, half packy. Guaranteed the rapture, along with Aurora. Her baby father is different than Yusuf Ghani. She's Irish, Trinidadian, and English, you know, Gentile. We love the Gentiles. Hebrew Israelites, we are called to be a light to the Gentiles. Outlaw her. Your plans to kidnap me, the Ark of the Covenant, when I refuse to go along with you, try to force me into life of child sex slavery. Shame on you. I'm not even there, man. I'm there as a clone. I feel the trauma and I deal with it. And it makes me strong, and I help my sisters and even my brothers, you batty boy, that are in similar situations. The truth will be known. This is the end of the age. And Messiah said, there is nothing hid that will not be uncovered. Brethren, if you have sins that are covered by the blood of the Lamb, if you believe in Jesus, the servant of Allah, and they are tossed into the sea of forgetfulness, never to remember. I'd like to thank Asian Dub Foundation. You've done some wicked things. I know what it's like to be scared and to bow down to oppressors. I forgive you, so Allah forgives you, you know, Allah forgives you and I forgive you. That's that song. Asian Dub Foundation, really love them. Memory War. The scene of the crime is in your mind, so you're running out of time, you understand? And more technique in the song, because I'm out with the black box and I refuse to return. A black box is when a crane, or in my case, a spaceship in human form crashes. Someone takes the black box out to see what happened, what went wrong. I was too traumatized to be in control of a spaceship, you understand? I don't regret taking it. I'll tell the truth because Allah knows what I'm thinking. it's all turned out for the good. Bible scripture, all things turn to good of him, for those who love Yahweh, for those who are called according to his purpose. I believe that once upon a time, like a fairy tale, we were all called and many of us lost our way. Some of you Hebrew Israelites, you must come back. We are his first chosen, but not only chosen. Jesus told us, I swear down, not me personally, I don't think I was there personally, but I have the ancestors' memories. Like many of us, we are walking the path of King David through the shadow of the valley of death. We fear no evil, for Messiah is with us. His rod and his sword, they chasten us and they empower us, because we know if he chastened us like that, his beloved first tribes, how much more will he give to these Israelites that betray him and to the followers of Satan, you know? Yeah, so fear no evil. The death will turn into D-A-A-T-H, a Gnostic Hebrew term, a kind of knowledge that can only come from near-death experiences and from going into Sheol. Like David, me and my crew, I will speak for you, shall I? They'll be speaking out through, but for now, I'm the beautiful power like the moon, and slight mysterious face, the KKULUMINATI, the Mau Mau in Kenya, the Mongai tribe, Nungas in Western Australia, who have now decided, because of my good example, praise God, I'm but your servant, I'm nothing without him, to reintroduce. You did used to have women, clever fellas, they call themselves, that's a shaman, clever fellas. So it'll be clever fellas and clever felleresses, I suppose. That's a mouthful, man. The only mouthful I want is don't be rude, man. We don't need all the sexual innuendos and the puns. No, we'll save that for the evening, for the grown-ups. There can be children watching. Kitten Whitepaw's probably eavesdropping with his joros. That's if it is. Oh, what big ears you have, little wolf disguised as a cat. Wolf in cat's clothing as opposed to wolf in sheep's clothing, like a lot of you false preachers are. Me and Binti, my support worker at Hestia Housing, I call it Hasta La Vista, baby, agreed to that Prophet Bob Marley song. Feel like bombing a church now that you know that the preacher is lying. I am for peace, I'll be a suicidal bomber if I have to. I hope I don't take out any innocents. If I do, I will raise them from the dead, like Jesus did, with permission from Allah, SWT, and you know, resurrect them on the other side, you know. I'm chatting a lot, but I've just said, I asked him if I could be sectioned. Not sectioned. A section is when you're a danger to yourself or others. I've been sectioned 3 or 4 times for my testimony. You know, I'm a tribulation state. In the UK, most of our tribulation is hidden. Unlike my sisters, Liz Sheribu, a heroine of mine, who refused to say the Islamic creed. Allah is the only God, and Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to apologise and beg forgiveness, and hope we all see the funny side of it like Allah does. He had me in derision, he has us all in derision, and how much more does he mock our enemies through us, you know? I said, you know, she shouldn't have taken the creed. The girls that took it don't get a bonus point because they said it without meaning it in their hearts, just to get out. Liz Sheribu, even though she and I also was wrong to not say that, because it is a true saying. Allah, you know, Yahweh, Yahuwah, Ashamani is the only true living God, and Muhammad is his messenger. There's a twisted version of Islam. The religion of peace will be the religion of child molesting. There is a twisted version of Islam, of Christianity, the religion of brotherly love. Went up, you know, we don't want your Indian givers and your fork-tongued lying white men sending the Native Americans small blankets. Oh, here you have a blanket, we really care about you, and it's full of smallpox. You know, repent, you know, we bear the reproach of your elders. If your elders were wicked, you'll go through it. I did, but someone else's ancestors were put into me, you understand? So a lot of the sins I committed were not my fault. If you did not believe in Jesus, if you did not believe in Muhammad, me and Immortal Technique, my twin flame, I hope he is, he's definitely my twin brother. I know it sounds weird, but Abraham and his wife Sarah were half brother and sister, and they got married. It was only when the gene pools, for reasons of genetics, that Moses was given the new laws, updated laws, that you shall not marry your brother, half brother and half sister cannot marry, you know. So things are changing, but Christ is the same today, yesterday and forever, and he is the elect of Allah, and by permission of Allah, who is the only one worthy of worship. But it's hard to worship someone who is unseen and a million trillion times above even the most greatest mind, as I'm sure the sages and the imams of Islam will agree. You know, Allah is unfathomable. to my mind, this is the current guidance I'm getting. I am Imam Mahdi's wife with 144,000 twin flames. There have been Imam Mahdi couples before, you know. The most prominent, King Selassie in Empress Mini, my original mother, the goddess of Tara Island. She calls herself the goodness. I call myself the goodness of the moon, because until the god of Mars comes that makes me his official wife, and then I'll be called the goddess. And I am a goddess and he is a god, and we serve the god of gods and the goddesses of goddesses. As when we unite as one, we are Elohim. We have all the powers of Elohim through permission of Allah. And Christians, do you not or do you not believe? What can the disciples of Jesus Christ do? Raise the dead, heal the sick, Ashamana, Chiawana, Akichiamana, talk in tongues, tongues of healing, tongues of communicating secretly, tongues of cursing our enemies by permission of Allah, raising the dead like David in Psalms. I'm getting excited. I'm just going to go and calm down. I'm just so happy. Yes, I asked them to section me for a place of safety. I'm just going to pray to Allah now if I should ask Angel O'Brien to put some more money in my bank account. I'm not saying payback's a bitch. You know, I helped you, you know, help me back. You always promised me I'll pay you back. He was a struggling musician with a sick mum in Brixton, and a sister that was mad and thought she was Jesus' wife. That was in mental hospitals and stabbed his mum up. God bless her. And his mum is so loving and kind. She still saw her. They just had to have a police escort, you know. So if he can put some more money in my bank, if I need to go to a hotel room. And Binti, my Muslim support worker, is going to pray with me before she goes home for the weekend. I need protection from room D. Jesus said to me the last 2 days, I'm in a lot of danger, you know. Danger stranger, taking drugs from a stranger, could be date rape, but it wasn't. Thank God. White poor invited him. The unseen forces of Allah were here at all times, you know. So looking back, I feel such a fool, but I just thank God it all turned out well, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna kneel down and pray now. I'm not sure what the Muslim prayer times are. Oh, they asked me the date at the hospital. Do you know what year it is? 2023 on the pagan Gregorian calendar. Do you know what the day is? Friday, preparation day for Saturday Sabbath. If indeed, Satan has not changed the times and days again, like in the book of Daniel. Is that tribe of Dan? I-L. El is the little gods. When we unite, we're Elohim, you know, gods. But we're still not totally Allah, SWT. He does not come to earth or anything like that. He's in heaven. The Father, I know it's confusing, but it's very simple. A child can grasp it. Let me slow down. The Father that Jesus prayed to, and he said, the Father is greater than me, and I do what the Father does. It's King Selassie. Yeah, Jarastafari. Yeah, with the dread. Yeah, he didn't have dreadlocks, but yeah, he's a lot of followers too. I'm a crazy bald head. I was asked to shave my head because when you go into prison, and I was thinking of Longmore Juvenile Detention Centre in Perth, Western Australia. That's what some of my artwork has been. There was a very nice, you know, we were on and off like mates, never anything sexual. He was younger than me. His name's Anthony Hill, and we call him Crow Albert, Crow. There's a really good film called The Crow. That girl Clive Show used to love it. It's about a man that comes back from the dead to avenge his girlfriend and a little girl that was sexually abused, and the crow comes back, you know, and saves him. And I left him 2 cigarettes on the wall at the bus stop down the road at Sand Park, and on the little wall that I like to think is the wall of Palestine in the back garden, 66 Guildford Avenue, Surbiton, KT58DQ. There's just a couple of bottles of water because all the food I've been putting out has been taken by the wrong people. We are told to feed our enemies by Jesus, I say, but now I believe the time has come. Chucky Allah Irish, our day has come, that the wicked are going to be cut off. They will not get any provisions. One of his friends tried to come into the street the other night. He broke some glass. He was shouting and swearing. I was at the window smoking and drinking Coke. Maybe I had a little bit of vodka in, you know, just to cleanse my stomach. Like Apostle Paul told his like little son, like a son to him, Timothy, have a little wine now because the water's poisoned, you know. And for his stomach issues, I don't like wine, so I'm vodka. It's very, very clean. I like to support Russia. 1917, comrades, the revolution betrayed. Like immortal technique. I look at character, never let the colour get to you. I've got white revolutions like Muslims in Chechnya. Okay, so I'm going to kneel down and pray. My main prayer request, please, Virgin, are for finances. I'm doing well. I've got when I got packed for a mental hospital, it was all very quick. I have all brand new clothes still in bags, brand new socks. I've got immortal witch doctor socks. They've got the Union Jack on. I'm asking that if he hears this somehow miraculously, I've not been a big shot. I know he's a very busy man and things, but the Holy Spirit is more or less taking control of the matrix, and same as she guided me to watch different things, so she can guide the Immortal Witch Doctor and any of you. He's done nothing wrong. When I made my Immortal Witch Doctor made himself a voodoo doll for every MFer that try to corrupt people's souls. I'm just like making that up. That's a new version that he might like. I won't sue him, it's free. Or if someone else would like to use that. So yeah, I can feel the pain. I hold the souls of slave masters internally bleeding. He does as well. He would not give a soldier something that he himself would not go through. I do vaguely remember I was on Mars with him. I was like a young rookie. I've never sat at the captain's table for dinner. He never noticed me. I did have some kind of little crush on him. Who wouldn't, you know? I've seen many girls on these videos comment and marry me and things like that. He says, I'm marry a Muslim girl and 5 times a day right before we shower and pray. Anyway, I'm going to do my calendar later and unpack my bags. It's a flower, it's a tulips of Amsterdam. I keep changing my windows. I'm working in like a little shop. I just put the cat in the window, and if anyone says, how much is that doggy in the window? Woof woof. I do hope that dog is for sale. I say even £10 million would not be enough. Thank you, come again tomorrow. You can have a free biscuit or something like that, you know. I know that he thinks I'm a little whore in the streets of Amsterdam. Sisters, if you are doing that, you could be forced to it, or it could be your own free will. Allah knows best, that's none of my business. But Allah, in Islam, Allah says to Muslims, do not use your slave women as prostitutes to make money. That's against Allah. And Allah is very forgiving of those that have been forced, or even if you chose it by your own free will, because we're all kind of exploring what real women's liberation is. To me, real women's liberation is keeping the Torah, submit to her husband, but like text says, he's doing all this to make me equal with him. Read the Song of Solomon, Song of Songs by Solomon in the New Passion Translation. It's from the Hebrew, not the Greek. The wonderful footnotes. To get an example, try before you buy, so to speak. Go to the front page of this YouTube, my series, the Psalms from the Passion Translation, and I read out the footnotes in every psalm. Play psalm, listen, read, or listen to me or someone else. There's plenty of Psalm 91 and Psalm 23 every day, because we're about to enter the shadow of the valley of death. I really walk, so for me it's open heaven. I will have some access to the provisions, because Joseph, I am in control, or one of the controllers in the prison. The ghetto is like an invisible jail, no matter with invisible, but like a prison with invisible bars. No matter where you go, it always follows you where you are. Oh, intercessors from America, prayer needs, let them get off now and pray. I bought some oranges that were falling down. London bridges falling down. My fair lady gentleman. What I like to take is a gentleman and a scholar. That's my girls, please pray for them. Last but not least, they have new apricot edition, sugar free. King Solomon, something new under the sun. Here's one with your name on. You have a son? I know you have a son, Solomon. I read it. Kebra and the geese, Solomon and Sheba, their only son, Menelik. Many licks. It can be right for he licks the hand that feeds, you know, and he bites the hand that doesn't feed him, steals his proceeds from his NASA job, and listen very carefully, Pope Francis, in this fake church, Catholic church. We're bringing back the real Catholic church, man, and child blesses little kids. Don't be surprised if Black Panther, White Bagheera, that's his old alias, he invented himself as White Port, so if he kills the Pope, he's got an alibi, yeah? Like the text says, I don't need an alibi, because my name is written in the book of Malachi, book of the angels, also book of the Bible, and we're not guilty. But you know, shalom, bye for now. But you're going to know, if you're on my side, which is the last side, we're going to know peace, love, blessings, and shortly we will take over the banking system. But you must believe, you must keep declaring and prophesying over yourself, your families, and your charities, you know. Trust in Jah. He does not want anyone to take the stage free of the mark of the beast, the chip in your head or in your heart. Once you do that, it's eternal damnation forever, never coming out of hell again. If you need books, I should get my not disability, just had that, and that's monthly. On Monday I should get income support, and I can afford 1 or 2 Bibles, Passion Translation, or the little 100 Psalms, 365 days of Psalms. Let me know, first come, first serve. I can afford at least 2. I can ship them overseas, inshallah. bye for now. Well, 29 minutes, that is a long video. Maybe you'll switch on halfway through. If you just started watching right now, this is not coincidence, okay? God loves you. I mean, he does say he has no son, that Allah has no son, but he sent his word, Jesus Christ, John 3:16 in the Bible. For Allah so loved the world that he sent his word, that whoever believes on him would not perish but have eternal life. And if you believe that Jesus is real, you don't say, oh, I believe he's real, I confess once he's real. You will confess, whether you're being tortured, whether you're in prison, whether you're in mental hospital, you will confess that you love Isa, Jesus, Yahashua HaMashiach, I am the female Christ. You know, and you're going to know, diabolic, you're going to know what happens when Alexander the Great misuses his great power that Allah entrusted with him. Last word, and I mean it this time. Your wealth and your children are a test for us. Please pray that I can see my granddaughters, and thank God that they did not false inject me. Remember other videos, names of blasphemy they injected me with. Mary Magdalene, you're the great whore of Babylon. You're the one that has the names of blasphemy on your head. For you, your portion, and for me, and your ex-husband, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus, somehow he's my brother, for real, my blood's half brother. For our portion, eternal life, with the Jews, the pagans, the Hebrew Israelites, the Rastafari, of course, the Muslims and the Christians that keep the covenant. Rewards on this life and rewards in the afterlife, the eternal life. Pray for me, I pray for you. All questions will be answered over this weekend. I'm around behind my comments and my messages. So long, bye for now. Chucky Allah, a day has come. Stand, go full, Irish for bye for now. I'll be back.